Plag rose before Adrian did and immediately left the sleeping boy to find Master Fu. Sailing into the early morning, the city yawned below him. The sun was just starting to peek over the horizon. The only businesses open were bakeries that puff smoke out of their chimneys. Master Fu was wide awake, and he didn't seem surprised as Plag charged through his window into his living room. "Plag, what a surprise," Master Fu said. He picked a glass of tea off the table and took a sip. "What brings you here?" "Master Fu," Plag said, "I have a favor to ask. Could you talk to Adrian?" The Kwame flew further into the room until he's hovering before the Guardian. Master Fu regarded Plag with a calm gaze. "I don't know what's gotten into him recently," Plag says, frustrated. He usually keeps a good head on his shoulders, but lately, he's been obsessed with a new student who showed up in his class. Her name is Lila Rossi. Master Fu's eyes widened. "That name again?" "Do you know her, Master?" Plag asked, noting the Guardian's reaction. "Not personally," Master Fu answered, "but her name had been bought before me by Ladybug. Isn't she the same girl who managed to force an Akoma victim to reject Hawk Moth's control?" "The very one," Plag says. "So, why is Adrian so invested in this girl?" "I don't know, Master Fu," Plag said. He doesn't even know anything about her, but from the moment he met her, Adrian hadn't been able to get Lila off his mind. All he wants is to be her friend. He jumps at any chance to spend time with her. And now he's going on about some nonsense of knowing her from somewhere. Master Fu hummed. This was troublesome. "I have to see this for myself," Master Fu decided. "Have him come here after school today and I will get to the bottom of it." Plag sighed in relief. "Thank you, Master," he said. With that, Plag left. Master Fu sat there for a while, thinking. "Waze," he called. Waze immediately emerged from the neck of the gramophone, yawning. "Yes, Master." He flew over to the Guardian, curious. "Have you sensed anything unusual over the last few days?" Master Fu asked. "Not particularly," Waze yawned again. "But I could check right now for you." He closed his eyes, concentrated, before opening them again quickly. "Yes," Master Fu said. "How odd," Waze said. I sense something, some kind of disturbance. But I can't pinpoint its location." "Could you try again?" Master Fu asked. Waze nodded and closed his eyes again. He concentrated harder this time, doing his absolutely best to chase that fleeting phantom sensation. But the trail was leading nowhere. Waze couldn't help feeling like someone was deliberately concealing the signal from him. "I'm sorry, Master," Waze says. "I can't get anything more." Master Fu shook his head. "This is getting more worrisome than I thought." Lila hummed to herself as she flipped through her journal, studying the notes that she had written. Now that episode Volpino is over, the events of Season 2 are approaching. Lila had written down all the information she remembered from Miraculous Season 2 to 5, the upcoming characters, events, and incidents. Kagami and Luca would be showing up soon, the two of them introduced as new love interests for Marinette and Adrian. In the show, Lila never interacted with Luca and only showed up in Season 5 to manipulate Kagami. The writers probably didn't want to put Luca and Lila in the same room together because he would only call out her lies, which would have been inconvenient for the convoluted plot, and if he didn't speak up, Luca's character would have been ruined. So, Luca would be Lila's enemy? Or, maybe not. Maybe she's just guessing and overthinking at this point. Lila sighed, rubbing her eyes in frustration. She has a plan that doesn't involve Kagami or Luca, but fuck, she has no idea if it will even work, but she'll have to try it quickly before either of them shows up. Lila's phone buzzed. God damn it, Adrian, Lila thought. She waited a second before grabbing her phone and opening it. Catboy, good morning. Lila /sorry to be testing you out of nowhere. I just want to let you know that I'll be bringing your homework over today. For today and yesterday. Lila blinked. This fucking... Another buzz and she continued to read. Catboy, also, there's gonna be a party this weekend. I know you don't like being around people, but I am willing to buy you whatever you want for the next 5 weeks. Party. Lila had a bad feeling. Only one Françoise Dupont student was known for planning parties, and yeah, this was definitely Marinette's doing. Where was the party even held? Lila shuddered, imagining herself as being trapped in Marinette's bedroom with nowhere to go, trapped in an enclosed space with a love-obsessed girl. Also, Adrian buying her stuff for the next 5 weeks? Ha, laughable. His father would never allow that to happen. Lila read on. Cat boy, also, what kind of flowers does your mom like? She made me dinner last night, and I want to give her a thank you. Lila was confused. Mrs. Rossi didn't make dinner last night, did she? Well, she did, but Lila has an uneasy feeling. Adrian waited by his phone for Lila to reply, his heart pounding in his chest. Although he knew she probably would decline, he couldn't stifle his excitement. When Alia had texted Adrian earlier that morning, asking for him to invite Lila over to a party, he was initially hesitant. Look at what happened the last time Lila came in contact with the girl squad. But after Alia explained it was because they wanted to properly apologize to Lila, Adrian was happy to help. It would be good for Lila to grow comfortable with her classmates, even if she wanted to do it at her own pace. A knock on his door got Adrian's attention. Come in. Natalie opened the door, poking her head in. Adrian, we have to get going, otherwise you'll be late. Adrian nodded. I'll be out soon, he said. Natalie left, closing the door behind her. Adrian got up and grabbed his satchel. He was slinging it around his shoulders when Plag spoke. Hey, kid. Adrian turned to him. Yeah? After school today, you should pay Master Fu a visit, Plag said. He wants to talk to you. Adrian raised an eyebrow, confused, but nodded. Plag darted inside Adrian's shirt before the two of them left the room. Ever since that day in Principal Damocles' office, Sabrina had been miserable. Chloe had stopped talking to her entirely. She doesn't even acknowledge that Sabrina exists. No matter what she does, trying to get back on Chloe's good side, trying to curry her favor once more, nothing worked. Sabrina begged and begged and begged Chloe to give her another chance, a window of opportunity to prove that she's not worthless, but Chloe wasn't having any of it. She just ignored Sabrina. Sabrina had stopped attending school out of shame. She also stopped attending because she wanted to avoid seeing Lila again. However, being secluded in her stuffy bedroom didn't make Sabrina feel any better. She just felt worthless and forgotten. If only this hasn't happened, if only she was brave enough. Hello, Black Rose, Hawk Moth said in a sickly sweet voice. You have been abandoned by the person you devoted your life to because an interfering nobody forced you to burn your bridges. You want revenge, don't you? I do, Sabrina snarled. In the flash of an eye, her self-pity transformed into blinding hatred. You know my end of the deal? I do, Sabrina said. You will receive Ladybug and Chat Noir's Miraculous. And in return, Sabrina stood up, boiling purple magic encapsulating her body. Lila Rossi will pay. Hawk Moth laughed evilly. He had felt Sabrina's roiling emotions for 2 days, but didn't act on it sooner because it had been nothing but trivial emotional distress. But once Sabrina isolated herself in her bedroom, her depression grew until it morphed into powerful hatred towards Lila Rossi. Let's see if you can do to Sabrina what you did to Chloe. Hawk Moth cried. This was a test. If Lila succeeds, she'll be a worthy sidekick. If not, oh well. Adrian sat at his desk, still waiting for a text reply from Lila. When his phone dinged with a notification, he couldn't help his massive smile. Fox Phoenix, thank you for bringing my homework over, you're sweet. A party sounds like hell on earth, but I'll go because you offered to buy me stuff. I'll send you a list of what I want. Where is the party going to be held at? For my mom, I believe she likes roses or lilies. Cat boy, it'll be at Julika's place. She lives on a houseboat with her mother and twin brother. It's super cool. I can't wait to see your list. You're welcome. I'll get your mother some lilies. Does she have a favorite color? Fox Phoenix. Pink would be fine. Thanks. I got to go later. Cat boy, oh okay later. Carrot oh carrot slash. Adrian sighed, putting his phone down. You okay, dude? Nino asked. Adrian doesn't reply or even look at Nino. He had been ignoring Nino since he came into the classroom. Nino sighed. Look, dude, he says. I'm really sorry for what I said yesterday. I said it without thinking, and it was a horrible thing. Could you forgive me? Adrian looked up at Nino and nodded. Yeah, I'll forgive you. Nino smiled and held up a fist. Adrian bumped their knuckles together. Alia and Marinette walked into the classroom together. Morning, Adrian, Alia said, sliding into her seat. She crossed her arms, leaning down on her desk. So, what did Lila say? Can she come? She said yes, Adrian said. But I'm going to have to buy her some things in return. Some things, Nino said. Yeah, Adrian said. I'm guessing she might want some new clothes and stuff. Nino frowned. Adrian, dude. Alia hit Nino's arm. That's great, Adrian, she says as Nino scowled, rubbing at his arm. Alia glared at him and he nodded reluctantly. That she's coming. The day before, when Alia and Marinette had been planning the party, they decided that they would use the party as an excuse to keep Adrian distracted while Luca dealt with Lila. It doesn't matter what happens now, as Marinette would need Lila to be present at the party for her plan to work. But she imagined Adrian buying Lila whatever she wanted. That's great, Adrian, Marinette managed to say. Her anger and jealousy was trying to break through, but Marinette was able to keep it under lock and key. For now. As the classroom filled with the rest of their friends, Chloe was one of the last to walk in. She talked on her phone the entire time as she slid into the desk that she used to share with Sabrina. Marinette frowned. Has anyone seen Sabrina lately? She asked. I wonder how she's doing? Sabrina has been AWOL since Chloe dumped her, Alia said. I don't think she showed up at school at all since. Adrian looked away and Nino clucked his teeth when he noticed. Hey dude. You know. Nino's words were cut off as the classroom door was slammed open at that moment. A tall figure stalked in, wearing a black dress made of upside-down black roses. Their skin was pale and tinted gray and their ginger-red hair curled around their face. Their eyes looked like they had been crying. Black lines dropped down their cheeks like tears. When they spoke, Madame Bastier's class gasped. Hello, my fellow classmates, the Akuma cried. The name is Black Rose. Don't worry, I'm not here to hurt you. Yet. I'm here for Lila Rossi. Black Rose looked around the classroom, but Lila wasn't here. You, Chloe yelled, pointing at Black Rose. Black Rose turned eerily blank eyes on her. Why the hell are you now getting akumatized? I don't know, Black Rose said serenely. But Hawk Moth had given me the powers to make everything right. So we can be best friends again. Chloe recoiled as Black Rose walked toward her, taking one of her hands. And I have a special plan for Lila, Black Rose promised. Don't worry, once I deal with her, everything will be alright again. What on earth? Madame Bastier gasped. She had just walked into the classroom. What is going on here? Black Rose held out her right hand at Madame Bastier. A black crystal attached to her wrist flashed, and a pair of pointy vines flew out, grasping Madame Bastier and squeezing her tight. Let her go, Rose yelled. As soon as she tells me what I need to know, Black Rose said. Madame Bastier, you know where Lila lives. Where is she? The vines constricted and Madame Bastier screamed in pain. Let her go. Everyone's eyes went to the new voice speaking at the door. Adrian's eyes went wide with panic. Lila stood at the doorway, wearing a black tank top and matching pants. Oh! Black Rose carelessly dropped Madame Bastier, who groaned in pain. Have you come to die? No, Lila said. I came to get killed, so come at me. Lila beckoned her hands, daring Black Rose to approach. Black Rose laughed evilly. Be careful what you wish for, she sneered, stepping over the trembling teacher on the floor. Wait. Black Rose turned around. Chloe was impatiently gesturing at her. I want to come too, Chloe said. I want to see her destroyed. Black Rose smiled. Of course, she said. Black Rose turned back to the doorway, but Lila had taken advantage of her distraction and already ran far. Ooh, but I am faster, Black Rose said. She held up her hand and multiple vines snaked out from the crystal. The classmates shrieked as these black vines attacked them. So busy were they that no one noticed that Adrian and Marinette were no longer in the room. Lila hid behind a trash can, taking deep breaths. She had no idea what she was thinking. She spoke from instinct. But seeing Sabrina akumatized 2 days after the incident in the principal's office, she was surprised that Hawk Moth even waited that long. Sabrina's entire life was Chloe. Nothing could have provoked a stronger reaction than taking Chloe away from her. Then again, Lila doesn't really care about Sabrina's plight. She's more focused on her own plan. In order for it to work, she needed to get close to Sabrina. Chat Noir and Ladybug sailed over the city, running through Paris trying to find the one and only girl, Lila Rossi. What was she thinking? Chat Noir thought. Why didn't she just run in the first place? Why did she make herself a target? This don't look good, Ladybug said, suddenly stopping. Chat Noir slid to a halt beside her and looked down at what she was seeing. On the streets of Paris, citizens with vines covering their entire body stood robotically on the streets. Oh my God, Chat Noir whispered. We're on the roof, Kitty. They won't notice us, Ladybug said confidently. But Lila is in great danger if we don't find her first. Chat Noir nodded. Should we head down? Yes, Ladybug said. But be careful. She pulled out her yo-yo and Chat Noir took out his baton. Both heroes leapt down onto the streets, muscles tense, expecting the possessed Parisian to attack them immediately. Instead, they barely twitched, not moving at all. What the? Ladybug went to a woman near her. This reminds me of something I saw on the TV once, Chat Noir said. As he looked at all the possessed people near him, he noticed they all had black tears leaking from the corner of each eye. Like what? Ladybug asked, turning to her partner. I don't know, Chat Noir said. But let's get moving before they do. Both of them continued the search, unaware that Chat Noir's prediction was about to come true. Lila noticed it almost immediately. When she first came across possessed, frozen people, she hid and watched them while thinking about what she should do next. When the possessed people continued to remain still, Lila decided it was worth risking trying to move past them. Even as Lila came close, none of them batted an eyelash in her direction. But as Lila reached the end of the street and turned around, all the possessed people were suddenly feet away from her, and none of them were at where they were originally. Like the weeping angels from Doctor Who. Lila experimented with keeping her eyes on these possessed people. She slowly rounded a corner and moved a safe distance away. Nothing. Then, Lila blinked and suddenly a group of them were crowding the end of the walkway. Damn it. Lila didn't dare to remove her eyes from the ones she was currently watching, but from the peripheral of her vision, she noticed that more was coming up. 6 of them, none of them moving but all staring right at her. Lila backed up against a wall, feeling for a doorknob with her hand. To her surprise and relief, the door was unlocked and she quickly ducked in. The moment she moved into the room, crazed banging and an awful, horrible scream came from outside, and Lila backed away as the door began shuddering on its hinges. She went further into the building, entering another door and climbing up a few steps. In the long corridor which amplified each sound, she heard the tapping of footprints following behind her. Quickly, Lila turned around and her heart caught in her chest when she saw some of the angels on the steps. Lila cursed. No! Lila ran up the stairway, listening to the fast movements of her stalkers behind. My lady? Chat Noir asked nervously. Yes, Chat Noir. I don't mean to sound, let's say worried or anything. You noticed it too, Ladybug said. Why, yeah. Every time Ladybug turned her head, the possessed Parisian around them had come closer, gathering more and more in number as they walked through the streets. Get ready to fight, Chat, Ladybug said. How are they getting closer to us when we're not looking? Chat Noir asked. Ladybug bit her lip. She didn't have an answer. We have to get back onto the roof. Chat Noir nodded and both of them leapt back up. When they looked down again, they gasped in relief. The Parisians were no longer looking up at them. "Oh, okay, let's get going," Ladybug sighed, freaked out. "I hope Lila is okay," Chat Noir said. "She's smart, Chat," Ladybug said. "As long as she stays hidden, she'll be fine." Lila nursed the wound on her shoulder. One of the angels had gotten close to her when she was slamming a door shut between them, and vines had shot out to make a deep cut on her skin. The wound stung badly, but Lila managed to close the door and shoved various furniture and boxes over it for extra protection. The sound of banging echoed through her eardrums like mad, but Lila was confident the barrier would remain long enough for her to think up another escape plan. Lila was in a TV station, she realized. She must have entered through a nondescript back door. She looked through drawers and cabinets for a weapon or any other aids she could use. Inside a closet, a metal bat fell out the moment Lila opened the door. How odd. It looked like the same bat she had used on Chloe's possessed minions. She smiled just as the objects she had piled before the door finally tumbled off. Lila turned to see the angels struggling through, freezing each time she could see their limbs, but the pounding behind the door never stopped. Lila stepped forward and readied her bat as the door began to break. This was going to be a long fight. Ladybug and Chat Noir were not having any fun. The Parisians had been frozen still until, all of a sudden, it's as if a switch had been activated in their head. Then, they began charging at Ladybug and Chat Noir with vehemence, climbing up to the rooftops they were on, sending out whimsical but solid strikes with the vines twisted around their bodies. What the hell happened? Ladybug exclaimed as she kicked one person leading to them falling down and striking over a ladder of Parisian like bowling pins. But more soon filled their space. Why are they crazy all of a sudden? "I don't know, my lady," Chat Noir said. "But we've got to get out of here." "Stand down, my angels." Ladybug and Chat Noir gasped as Black Rose appeared. "The reason why my angels are so enraged is because they've found Lila Rossi," Black Rose announced. "And they will stop you from saving her. This is your doom, Ladybug and Chat Noir." Black Rose chuckled as she disappeared again. She was going to get Lila. Chat Noir's eyes went wide with fear. The possessed angels lunged at them against, and Chat Noir reacted without thinking. Cataclysm. His hand slammed down on the building below them. "Chat Noir, no," Ladybug cried as she stumbled. The building crumbled beneath them. Lila sighed as she finally sat down, able to rest her aching arms. Her body and clothes were soaked with the black blood that had spurted from the angels as they were struck. It was a battle of endurance. Despite their magical powers, they were still humans. Lila just had to make sure she kept her eyes on them as she decommissioned them, one by one. Unfortunately, she still blinked sometimes, and as a result, was covered in cuts from where their vines or nails managed to score her. Well. Lila stood up quickly, readying her bat, ignoring the ache from her legs. "You were able to knock them all down. I'm surprised by how stubborn you are," Black Rose said, walking over the bodies of her angels. "Well, maybe you should make them stronger next time," Lila snarled. She carefully moved, keeping an eye on Black Rose. "Come to me, Lila," Black Rose commanded. "And your death won't be as slow and painful." Lila laughed. "You must think I'm dumb," she said. "You really think I'd fall for that?" "I was giving you an out, Lila." Black Rose smirked. "It's your own demise if you refuse to take it. You're strong. Stronger than I thought." Black Rose raised her right hand, where Lila noticed a black crystal. "The Akuma must be in there," Lila thought. "Final chance, Lila," Black Rose said. Lila stared down Black Rose as she steeled herself. "Your funeral," Black Rose said. Black vines shot out, but Lila quickly dodged them. She charged towards Black Rose's face and swung the bat. Black Rose caught it in one hand. "Bold, are we?" Black Rose said. "Bold and stupid," Lila said. She pulled back her right fist and punched Black Rose in the face. Black Rose's head snapped back, recoiling further when Lila followed the punch with a kick to her gut. Black Rose fell to her knees, coughing up black blood. "Oh, I see," she said, wiping her mouth. "You want to play?" Black Rose got up and the ground beneath them began to shake. Lila braced herself as 3 giant Venus fly traps grew around them. Lila looked around, shocked. "What? You didn't think it was possible?" Black Rose laughed, but to her surprise, Lila rolled her eyes. "Oh, I knew it was possible," Lila said. "And I don't care. Come at me, you goth emo bitch." Black Rose screamed in rage as she sent 2 Venus fly traps at Lila, their mouths wide open around spiky green teeth. Lila ducked, hitting one fly trap in the side with an uppercut before slamming down a solid blow on the other's head. The first one that Lila hit shook off its daze and came charging for her again. Lila uppercutted again before moving away and running for Black Rose. Realizing the danger, Black Rose tried to move out of range, but Lila flew up and kicked her before following the kick with a swing from the bat. Black Rose recovered from the kick in time to grab the bat and throw Lila to the far wall. Lila collided against the wall painfully and collapsed in a heap on the floor. She hissed but quickly rolled out of the wall as the final fly trap rammed into where she was just laying. Its teeth stuck in the wall. It struggled to pull itself out. Lila took the opportunity to run back at Black Rose, who was shocked by how quickly Lila recovered. As Black Rose dodged the next of Lila's swings, the fly trap was able to pull itself out of the floor and come at her again. Lila dropped to the ground at the last moment and the fly trap ended up biting Black Rose, slamming her into the wall. "What are you doing?" Hawk Moth screamed. "How are you getting caught up in your own attacks?" "I'm trying," Black Rose said. "But she's too quick." "Forget her," Hawk Moth demanded. "Go after Ladybug and Chat Noir's Miraculous." Black Rose rolled her non-existent eyes, getting back up. "Don't worry about that, my angels are dealing with them." "You'll get your end of the bargain, Hawk Moth." "You better be right," Hawk Moth threatened. Hawk Moth was intrigued. It seemed that Lila had decided to fight instead of scaring Black Rose, as she had done with Queen Revenge. Maybe it's because of Black Rose's outfit. With her hair covering her eyes, she's less likely to be affected by Lila's menace. Hawk Moth hummed. "Let's see how long she will last." "What were you thinking?" Ladybug yelled at Chat Noir in the sewer system. "I'm sorry," Chat Noir said. "I wasn't thinking." Once they are safely on opposite sides of a wall, Chat Noir de-transformed. "Plague, claws in." Plague flew out of the ring as Chat Noir's suit melted away, his face a mixture of disappointment. This was like Adrian, not like him at all. "Tiki, spots off," Marinette announced. She looked annoyed as she handed Tiki a macaron. "Here, Tiki, eat." "Plague, eat fast," Adrain urged his Kwame. Cookie and cheese disappeared quickly. "Plague, claws out." "Tiki, spots on." Lila was panting. She was covered with cuts and bruises. As she wiped her mouth, Black Rose stood across from her, holding up her right arm. "Why?" Black Rose growled. Lila stood up straight. "Why?" she echoed. "Because you're a real bitch and I don't like you." "Give me a real answer, damn it," Black Rose screamed. Black vines flew at Lila and Lila moved out of the way again. Lila was getting tired. Attack after attack, hit after hit. No matter what Lila did, Black Rose would not go down. She was as stubborn as she looked, and Lila had wasted a lot of energy on taking down the last Venus flytrap. "You want a real answer?" Lila asked. "Here's my real fucking answer." Lila swung her bat and Black Rose grabbed it, trying to bend it backwards. But hours of fighting had coated the bat with blood and slick. Black Rose's grasp slips. Both girls stared at each other. "You're a dog, Sabrina," Lila hissed. "You do whatever Chloe wants, you follow whatever she says, but now your master wants nothing to do with you. You break down because you realize that without someone telling you what to do, or what, or say, or, hell, what to wear, you're worthless. You didn't become an Akuma because you were angry, you became an Akuma because you needed some new to control you. That's not true. Black Rose screamed. Chloe is my best friend. I became an Akuma for her. But it is true, Lila said. Think about it. Why do you do whatever Chloe tells you to do? Are you in love with her? Or do you just want someone to see your worth? Shut up, shut up, shut up, Black Rose yelled. She threw Lila at the wall and Lila fell to her side, spitting up blood. She tried to stand, but it seemed that Lila had found her limit. Black Rose laughed coldly. The black vines of her right arm picked Lila up off the ground. Lila looked at Black Rose in pure disgust. Now, Black Rose said, let's take you to your death. Chloe had been waiting for far too long. Black Rose walked out of the room with Lila. Lila looked at the black crystal that supported her captivity. Slowly, she wriggled her arms and she realized that the vines weren't as tight as they should be. Lila smiled. I sure hope this. Fucking God, I sure hope this worked, she thought before blacking out. Layla. 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 Layla's eyes shot open. She looked around and her sight landed on a pair of eyes, one blue, the other brown. A stunning heterochromia. An older boy with curly dirty blonde hair peered down at her worriedly. Are you all right, my sweet? He asked. Layla rolled her eyes, sitting up as she pushed him away. Really, Ad? Layla asked. Ad smiled. Oh, come on, he said. Don't be like that. Ad sat next to Layla as he picked up her hand. On Layla's finger, she was wearing a ruby and gold ring. On Ad's finger, he had a matching dark emerald ring. How long had we been dating? Ad asked. Layla frowned at him. Let's see. We started officially dating last year in 10th grade, so about a year? Ad laughed. You're so silly, he said. Layla rolled her eyes. But you're the most important thing to me, Layla, Ad continued softly. I don't know what I'd do without you here. I mean, you can live your life freely like how I'm doing. Yeah, Ad said. But having you with me makes it easier to, deal with life. Layla blinked at his words, but she understood what he meant. The two of them sat quietly for a moment, watching the trees and birds. It's time for you to wake up now, Ad said sadly. Layla frowned. I guess, she said. Ad leaned forward and kissed Layla on the forehead. Be safe, he whispered. I love you. Lila woke up, disorientated. She shifted, which alerted Black Rose to her consciousness. Good, Black Rose said. You're awake. Finally, a nasally voice said. Chloe? She sounded excited. Kill her. Soon, Chloe, Black Rose cooed. Lila looked around at both of them. They must be waiting for Ladybug and Chat Noir to show up. Lila wasn't close enough to Sabrina's akumatized object. Sabrina, Lila taunted. I'm wondering why you're trying so hard to get Chloe to like you again. Black Rose ignored her. Lila hummed. You're acting like you don't need me here, but you know that without me Chloe wouldn't even bother to look at you. You worthless, pathetic loser. Don't listen to her, Sabrina, Chloe said. You're my BFF for life, remember? Lila rolled her eyes. Did you two have a dramatic breakup in front of the whole class where you told Sabrina to never speak to you again, you stupid bitch? Chloe gasped. We did, but I didn't mean it. I'm glad to have Sabrina back. Black Rose giggled, pleased. Lila closed her eyes, feeding off her answer. She pulled one arm free and hit the vine that was holding her. Sabrina, do you really believe this dumb bitch? She demanded. Black Rose twitched and Lila could feel the vines shifting her closer to Black Rose. That's it. Just a little bit closer. Ladybug, look, Chat Noir yelled. Ladybug turned to see Black Rose, Chloe, and Lila, Chat Noir cried. The two of them raced towards the villain. Let her go, Black Rose, Ladybug said. Oh, look, Black Rose crowed. The heroes have arrived just in time to witness her death. My angels, hold them down. A gang of angels emerged, attacking and latching onto the heroes. Chat Noir and Ladybug defended themselves, but more angels simply arrived to take the place of those who fell. Now, Black Rose said, pulling Lila close to her face. Time to die. Lila rolled her eyes. Speak for yourself, you bitch. With her free hand, Lila grabbed the akumatized black crystal on Black Rose's arm. Black Rose laughed. You think that's going to do anything? Black Rose suddenly stopped talking, and even the angels stopped moving. Ladybug and Chat Noir looked up in confusion, still held in battle poses. What are you doing, Sabrina? Chloe demanded. Why are you? She jerked back in alarm as Black Rose suddenly screamed in pain. What the? Ladybug exclaimed. Black Rose's akumatized object was set ablaze, reddish-orange fire with a core of purple burning the crystal. The angels were also screaming, writhing from the pain felt by their master. Hawk Moth dropped his cane, screaming as well. Pain, as if his head was burning from the inside out, choked his body. Natalie ran up to the secret lair hearing his cries. Sir? Natalie moved near Hawk Moth cautiously. Sir, what's wrong? And Natalie, Hawk Moth managed to grit out. I'll remove my M miraculous. Natalie immediately did what she was told, plucking the brooch off Hawk Moth's chest. Natalie almost dropped the jewel. It was burning up as if it was on fire. Black Rose released Lila and Lila fell to the ground. She was surprised but joyous that her plan worked. She would laugh, but Lila felt exhausted. Possessed Parisians around her were free, the black vines covering them falling to the ground and shriveling. Black Rose had transformed back into Sabrina, who laid on the floor, unconscious. She was no longer screaming, and Ladybug watched in amazed horror as the Akuma that was trapped struggled out of the crystal and flew skyward. Its flight was weak, and as it flew, its wings slowly turned into dust, until the Akuma crumbled in the sunlight. Ladybug was held to where she stood by her shock, but Chat Noir immediately moved toward Lila. Are you okay? He asked. Lila hissed, but nodded. Don't worry, Chat Noir promised. The pain will be gone soon. Chat Noir turned back to Ladybug. Ladybug, the cure. Ladybug was finally snapped out of her stupor. M miraculous. Ladybug shook her head, trying to fend off her unsettling feeling for the second it'll take to cast her magic. Miraculous Ladybug. Just like that, the city returned to normal. Citizens were taken back to whether they were captured and Lila's wounds healed. No! Chloe screamed in rage. God damn it. Sabrina woke up, looking around, confused. What happened? She asked, looking around. Ladybug went to her, but Lila beat her to the punch. You were akumatized, Lila explained. Because of your built-up feelings. Oh! Sabrina said. I don't remember. What was I angry about? Ladybug blinked. That was strange. Usually when victims are akumatized, they don't retain any memories of what happened when they were taken under control, but they remember why they were angry in the first place. This was odd. Before Lila could explain further, Chloe came up, grabbing Sabrina's shoulders. You stay away from my BFF, you hellish freak of nature, she snapped at Lila. Come on, Sabrina. What happened doesn't matter. Let go. I'll buy you your favorite ice cream, okay? Sabrina smiled happily. Oh, of course, Chloe. What would you like? Chloe shook her head. No, she said. I'll buy it this time around. Sabrina was shocked, and so was Ladybug, Chat Noir, and Lila. Really? Sabrina said. Oh, Chloe, you're the best. Chloe's phone rang at that moment. She answered it. Yes, hello. Chloe frowned. No, cancel it. I don't want you anymore. Bye. Chloe hung up. What was that? Sabrina asked as both girls walked away. No one important, Chloe replied. Lila and the two heroes stood there, not sure what to make of that. Take me home, Lila said to Chat Noir. Gabriel hissed in pain while Natalie cleaned his wound. There was a severe burn mark on his chest where his miraculous hung. The pain was horrendous. Nuru was breathing heavily inside his miraculous, which was soaked in ice-cold water, which was now boiling hot. Natalie cursed as she stopped in the middle of dressing Gabriel's wound to switch the hot water for a cold glass. "Sir, what happened?" Natalie demanded as she continued tending to Gabriel. "Lila, that girl," Gabriel said. "I don't know what she did, but she burned my Akuma. She burned me." It took a second for Gabriel to regain his breath. "I don't think she's human." Natalie frowned. "Sir, that's..." Gabriel cut her off. "We must get her on our side," he said, slamming his hand down onto the table beside him. "Lila is even more unique than I imagined." Natalie sighed. She knew that nothing she said would change his mind. "Are you sure you're all right?" Chat Noir asked, setting Lila down on her bed. Ladybug watched them, keeping an eye on Lila, but she also took the chance to glance around Lila's bedroom. "I'm fine," Lila said. "The miraculous cure fixed everything. I'm all right now. Thank you both." Chat Noir nodded, grinning. He looked like a love-struck puppy, Ladybug noticed. She pulled at his ear. "Well, Lila, we have to get going now," Ladybug said. "Remember to stay out of trouble, now, all right? This is the second time an Akuma had been after you." Lila nodded. "I understand, Ladybug. Goodbye." The heroes leave through her window, and Lila immediately rolled her eyes. "The two of you need to do better jobs," she muttered to herself. "Especially you, Marinette." Lila yawned and stretched. Despite her exhaustion, she was overjoyed. Her plan had worked. She didn't think it would, but it did. Now, Lila has a safeguard if Hawkmoth ever plans to come after her again. "I wonder if there's anything I could eat," Lila thought as she left her room. She hadn't eaten all day. She was starving. "This is unreal," Master Fu exclaimed. "She set the akumatized object on fire?" Master Fu stroked his beard. "I've heard about this before, but I don't remember what it's called." Marinette watched him think worriedly. "What should we do, Master Fu?" she asked. "We got Lila to agree to a party with us, but we had to ask Adrien to invite her. No matter what I do, Lila wants nothing to do with us with me. I can't get close to her at all. For right now, you can't just keep an eye on her as a friend. You must keep an eye on her as Ladybug," Master Fu said. "I may be wrong, but Lila might be a dangerous weapon." "A dangerous weapon?" Marinette said uneasily. Master Fu nodded. "She has a special ability unique to her, and I have a feeling Hawkmoth may try to recruit her for it." Marinette frowned. "But she hurt Hawkmoth. She burned his Akuma and erased it. It never came back. Why would Hawkmoth want someone who can kill his Akumas? What else would a man like Hawkmoth want?" Master Fu asked, and Marinette quickly understood. Lila was a dangerous person all by herself. If Hawkmoth was able to akumatize Lila and take her under his control, he will be unbeatable. A knock on Master Fu's door got his attention. "Come in," he called. Adrien entered, flag floating above his shoulder. "You wanted to see me, Master?" Adrien asked. "Yes," Master Fu nodded. "Close the door. Take a seat, Adrien." Adrien did as he was told, kneeling down across from Master Fu. Master Fu waited until the boy was comfortable before speaking. "I'm concerned about some of your recent behavior," Master Fu began. "Concerns that Plague shares." Adrien frowned. He looked to Plague in confusion, and Plague stared back in worry. "My recent behavior?" Adrien asked. "I don't remember doing anything out of the ordinary." "Not even when it involves a certain someone?" Master Fu asked dryly. "Plague told me you have been obsessed with a new student at your school." Adrien blinked. "Lila has nothing to do with this," he said. "I'm just trying to be her friend." His eyes narrowed. "Why is this a concern? I'm not skimping my duties or abusing my powers as Chat Noir. I'm just trying to make a new friend as Adrien. Why are we making such a big fuss over this? If this truly concerns you that much, then take my miraculous." Master Fu, Waze, and Plague gaped at Adrien. Now, wait a minute, Master Fu began. What? Adrian said. Are you going to take it or not? If you don't, then I guess nothing's wrong. He stood up. Good, I have to go now. There's a party I have to attend. Goodbye. With that, Adrian left, Plag cursing before he flew after his chosen. Master Fy was taken aback. Adrian was normally such a quiet and amiable boy. To act out so brashly and with such hostility wasn't behavior he had expressed before. Master Fu, Wei said. I think I know what the problem might be. I sensed an anomaly in Adrian's body. Master Fu looked to Wei's, confused. An anomaly? An anomaly? He asked. What kind? It's a spirit, Wei said. Some kind of spirit is inhabiting Adrian's body. Wei's was scared. It's happening again, he thought to himself. All right, Luca said, having listened to all their explanations. I'll help. Just keep Adrian away from us and I'll talk to Lila. The girl squad cheered, smiling in relief. Luca was a very zen and chill person. They had all feared that Luca might refuse on principle. That's so much, Luca, Alia said. Hey, girls, Marinetta said, announcing her presence as she walked down the stairs. All the girls were sitting around in Luca and Julika's shared bedroom. What's going on? Luca just agreed to help us, Rose chirped. Marinette lit up. That's great. Girl, I've got to show you this, Alia said bossily. Kneeling on the floor with her laptop propped on Luca's bed, she pulled up the video she had saved. This got leaked out by the TV station. Did you know that Lila could fight? After Black Rose's defeat, the TV station had gone back to their cameras to score footage for their news report. As a result, crystal-clear video of Lila wielding a metal bat and attacking Black Rose, her possessed angels, and Venus flytraps were released all over the internet. The girls and Luca watched in amazement as Lila danced around the floor, ducking and weaving and landing solid blows on the villains. That's amazing, Mylene said. She looks like she had training. There's no way a regular girl could do this. She has a lot of energy, Alex followed, pointing. Look at how beat up she is, and she's still getting up. She's scary, Jalika said quietly, feeling uneasy. Maybe she played baseball before she moved here, Rose suggested. Whatever she learned, she's really good at it, Mylene said. Marinette watched the fight voicelessly. On screen, Lila was snagged up by a vine and tossed against the wall, which she hit with a painful-looking collision. She fell against the floor and breathed hard, unable to get up again. Luca gazed intently at the video. Lila seems very capable. Yeah, Alia said. That's one word for it. What do you think? Luca shook his head. I can't tell yet. I need to see her face to face. Alia sighed and closed her laptop. Then let's get ready for this weekend, Alia said. Yes, Rose agreed. It's still a party, and we're going to have a blast. Marinette, are you okay? Mylene asked worriedly. You've been really quiet. Marinette shook her head as if clearing cobwebs from her mind. She benignly shrugged off Mylene's hand. I'm fine, she reassured. Let's go get ready. If you say so, Alia said. The rest of the girl squad accepted Marinette's excuse easily, but Alia couldn't help feeling that there was something deep bothering Marinette. Lila waited outside her home, wearing loose blue jeans and a t-shirt that promoted American artist Miley Cyrus' EP album She Is Coming. Over one shoulder was slung a mini brown leather purse which contained her Amex card and lip balm. The Agresti family sedan pulled up and Adrian rolled the window down, smiling at her. Ready? As I'll ever be. Lila climbed into the car, sitting in the back seat with Adrian. Placid, as Lila learned was the name of Adrian's bodyguard, grunted at the driver's seat before pulling the car away from the curb. Got your list? Adrian asked. Lila handed Adrian a piece of paper with all the items she wanted written down on it. Adrian scanned it before nodding, tucking the paper into his jacket pocket. Then, he picked up a small red box wrapped with a bow. For you, he said. The first of many gifts. I hope you'll like it. Thanks, Lila said, bemused. Was it jewelry? Cosmetics? What had Adrian gotten her? The box was small enough to fit into her bag. I'll open it when I get home. They made small talk as the car traveled along the streets of Paris, driving the scenic route past museums and bookshops. Adrian caught Lila up on what she had missed at school, and Lila reassured Adrian that she was okay after being the target of another Akuma attack. The car rolled up beside the Seine, where an elongated boathouse, a stage on the deck, and its hull painted bright purple, floated by the pier. Placid grunted again to announce that they were here. Adrian and Lila climbed out of the car, Lila rolling her eyes as Adrian gentlemanly held the door open for her. We'll stay here for an hour, Adrian told Placid. Pick us up then. Placid nodded before driving away. Adrian joined Lila at where she was waiting by the canal side. Ready? She asked. Adrian nodded and held out his hand. Lila took it. This was Adrian's sudden last-minute request, that she holds his hand throughout the party and they don't part, for whatever reason. It was strange, but Lila agreed to abide by it. Adrian's expression as he asked it of her was serious and sober. He had a premonition that something bad might happen if they were separated. The two of them walked onto the boat where the party was already in full swing. Music was blasted and someone had ordered pizza. Their classmates danced and swayed to be beat. No adults could be seen anywhere, which was a good thing. They might have shut down the party or lectured them on their impropriety. Rose was the first to spot them. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Lila, she cried happily, waving her arms above her head at them. Hey, everyone. Lila waved awkwardly, her other hand still tightly grasped in Adrian's. Marinette noticed this and her teeth gritted. She pointed Lila out to Luca, who nodded before going over to the duo. Hey, welcome to my house. Make yourself comfortable, he greeted congenially. I haven't seen you around before, he said to Lila. The name's Luca. Yours?